What is up, everybody? It's Mark from 403 Fauna, along with Jason should be here soon, hopefully. But today I wanted to talk about two of my favorite morphs, the puzzle ball python as well as the monsoon ball python. One of them had a really good week with a lot of new babies being born, showing a lot of different morphs added onto it. And another had not so good a week, the puzzle, just some as far as genetics and combos with it that didn't look so great. And I wanted to talk about that. But before we get into that, I am currently in the back room at my high school because for the past few days, I haven't had lights in my classroom. Pretty crazy. I've been wanting to do a lot of labs this week, but for whatever reason, I have a motion sensor that controls the lights in my classroom, and that thing doesn't seem to be working and apparently shut down all my lights. So hopefully that'll get fixed this weekend, and I'll be able to get back into my classroom and be teaching what I should be teaching in both chemistry and biology. So talking about my week in as far as snakes go, I did, if you caught some of my videos, I showed my first clutch that was out, and really excited to get that first clutch in. It seems like I'm pretty late this year as opposed to everybody else, but also it seems like first clutches of the year for whatever reason don't seem to have like the craziest and best combos. But it was a banana double or visual genetic stripe and VPI xanthic that was bred to a red stripe, and my odds were not great at all. I had one banana out of the clutch and two really beautiful red stripes on the male side, and so I'll be holding back at least the red stripe. I'm not sure yet whether that banana has red stripe in as well, but if it does, then I'll be holding that back. What's up to Sammy and Kike in the chat, Malik's Freaks. Let me bring you guys up real quick. What's up, guys? Appreciate the support. Kike, thank you for sharing the baseball card that I'm trying to trade for a ball python. If not, that's going to go up on eBay for, I don't know, a crazy amount of money. In fact, let me bring that up right now because I did bring it today in case someone is as into baseball cards as I am and might want to trade a ball python for it. So I do baseball cards. I do sports cards in general. And I pulled this right here. Hope you guys can see it. I don't know. I think it's reflecting out the screen. But it's a Bryce Harper 1 out of 5. And it graded a PSA 10. So it's perfect. And whenever you have a card like this, it's kind of hard to price because there's not things to match out there. But I value it at about $2,000. So if somebody has a snake in either Monsoon or Puzzle, well, obviously I can't. The value of a Monsoon is not equal to that card, but a Het Monsoon would be cool. Hit me up and we'll do a deal on that. What's up, Banna? So I did have my first clutch this week. Really excited for that. They should be shedding out, and maybe by Sunday I'll share them on my weekly video on YouTube. But I do have 8 eggs from my pastel double het VPI xanthic puzzle, and that's actually, I think, a month in already because I took video footage, but I never made a video on it. And Brandon from Nixon Reptiles, he hit me up this past week and was wondering if I had something in that project that would be available. So I'm hoping that I could get a VPI xanthic puzzle and make some of those available. I actually have some babies from last year's clutch that I'm probably going to make available. I just need to genetic test them for het puzzle because I hatched a lot of visual VPI xanthics on that clutch, and I just got to test for puzzle. One of them tested definitely for puzzle, and just a beautiful clutch. In fact, my video Sunday will be on that clutch, so I hope you guys could check that out. And yeah, I think in the next week I'll be cutting my second clutch, which was a pastel super enchi desert ghost het hypo to a cinnamon hypo het genetic stripe. So I should get some Cinienchi hypos that hopefully test positive for genetic stripe. And I want to bring up a little bit about RGI and Charlie, both great supporters of our industry, and I've used them both and think wonderful things of them. But there's a little bit of controversy going on, and I see there's a division between who to test with who. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Okay, let me get my slides going because that'll help me organize my thoughts here. And we're waiting on Jason. We'll see. So I've been doing my check-in right here. School has started up, and so my schedule has gotten really busy. And of course, I'm in a new relationship. Well, is it new still when it's about 3 months in? But I'm having a wonderful time with that. And over 100 ball pythons to take care of. So life is really busy here in room 403. Room 403, which I kind of include my house with that. So super busy. Eggs are hatching. I've got 10 clutches so far in the incubator. One of them hatched out already. And there might be another 1 or 2 clutches. I think I've had some reabsorptions occur, like some of the girls. It's funny, if you've ever not seen a reabsorption, I don't have an ultrasound, but they go from like thick to whoop, and then all of a sudden they start eating again. So I have to deal with that. But honestly, at my schedule, I don't think I'd handle more than a dozen clutches. So maybe reabsorption is a good thing for me at this time. Okay, so we don't have a rat snake of the week this week. Jason's not here yet, and I was supposed to bring a snake to my classroom and share it with the kids, but my mind was just everywhere this morning, and I totally forgot that too. Since we do have a good crowd in here already, oh, I forgot my problem of the week. Here it is. So here's our problem of the week, and anybody who answers this question correctly will get a shout out next week and be eligible for a drawing for a free snake for myself as well as Jason. And I've got some really cool stuff. I've got some Het Monsoon stuff, Het Monsoon Hurricane that I might make available depending on what hatches out and when that Het Monsoon will come out. But let me read this question to you. This morph was discovered by Sean Bradley of Exotics by Nature. Which one of these is that discovery? So A would be the puzzleback, B, Joppa, C, Hetari, or G, the Shurg. Now, I had to look up some of these on Morph Market to see if they're actually, when I was searching for the answer to this, I came across some of these strange names, and I had to share them with you because we have some strange names for ball python morphs, and like half of them are for some granite type morphs, right? Okay, so Bosa says puzzleback. Keep guessing. It sounds very similar to what he did discover, but that's not actually the correct answer. What the heck's a Joppa? Hetari, Shurg. Let's keep the guesses coming. I see 5 of you in the chat. Shurg, I don't even know what that is. It's crazy. R-O? Ro? Sorry, Ro, what's up, man? Banna says C, and Banna, you are correct. So next week, I'm going to give you a shout out and also give you an opportunity to win a snake from myself. And guess who's here? Jason.
Jason Radass Designs.
Sorry, my sound was off. I'm hoping you guys could hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good now. So Jason, hey, where you been? Let's go back.
I was racing through the desert, and you know how like sometimes you're going somewhere and then just it seems like every light turns red and every slow car is ahead of you, and you either can just get pissed off the whole way, or you can just be like, well, I'm gonna be late and I'm just rolling with it. I'm gonna be relaxed and this is what it is. And that's what I chose to do. And I raced around here. And I got here like, I don't know, 2 minutes before 4, and then set everything up. And here I am. So yes, yes, good day. Every day is a good day for us, Mark, and
Yes.
it's all perspective. And I missed the intro. So how was your week? Give me a recap.
Um. Oh, I'm in the the back room here because I haven't had lights in my classroom for the past 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the ball pythons, I've had clutch number one. They're about to shed and show their new skin, hopefully this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I also had some snakes that had hatched that I sort of showed last week. I really last week was kind of an off week for us, and I really wanted to set up a light box and another camera and show them really nice and good lighting, but that didn't really happen. But they haven't shed out yet. One of them did from the first clutch, and then the other three from the second clutch. They are all opaque looking and taking their sweet time. Sometimes they'll shed faster than a week, and sometimes they won't. And right now they're just on the verge. So probably tonight or tomorrow they'll shed, and they'll get their own cute little homes today, and set them up in a sea serpent B18 and give them some water and their own little apartments. Yeah, I'll set them up with leases and charge them electricity once a month. And yeah, it's so that's going on. I thought maybe the next clutch would be pipping today, but they are not yet. So I'll check them a little closer later and hydrate them a little bit more. The eggs are pretty deflated. Um, what else? I drove all around this past week and went to different places and had a lot of rewarding experiences with new friends in my life and new family and new people and new foods and new areas, and that's always fun. So some of that going on. I went swimming, and unlike when I'm usually a little baby about it, I'll take like a hose. There's some people that can relate to this, but I'll take a hose and spray it up in the air until I get cold enough and used to it enough, and then I'll jump in the pool. I've almost always been like that, unless it's like crazy hot. And I jumped right in. So I patted myself on the back for that. It was like perfect weather and swimming conditions that day. Um, and it was super, super hot. I don't know, 100 and something crazy. And swimming was nice. And what else? I don't know. There's so much to catch up on. Last time we talked off the air after the show for quite a while, and I have more of an update to give you, but yeah, I don't know if we'll spend much of the show doing that. But yeah, life is interesting, and it's still hot in Southern California, and I got a big day planned tomorrow, and right now I'm just spending my afternoon with you. So I didn't mark like do a whole lot as far as like researching the hobby and industry and like watching videos and podcasts and stuff. I basically took the whole week off. So um if there's any current news, I'm a newscaster waiting for some sort of info updates, and I'm not aware much of what's going on. So, any newsworthy things for us to report this week?
I'll be honest. I've been so busy with the new start of school and new relationships, and I
Mm-hmm.
I've minimally checked up on news and stuff. But I did see some cool stuff on Puzzle and Monsoon, so I thought I'd share
Mm-hmm.
those pictures today, and we just talk about that. And
Mm-hmm.
other than that, I don't think there's been anything like controversial. Although the puzzle stuff is somewhat controversial, so we'll just
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
Hey, do you have your rat ass snake of the week? Did you have time for that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, technically, I showed it last week, but not really. So these babies from this second clutch are pretty chunky, and this one is the monarch, but it is It is pretty opaque,
Oh wow,
looking like a zombie, ready to join the world.
very cool.
I'm not gonna sex them right now. Just let them do their thing, get comfortable.
Is
And
this a pastel monarch or just a monarch?
I think it's a pastel monarch. Yeah, really, really pretty. Even though it's like in zombie land. The other ones are in here. They're just as ghosted out. So they're chilling, very energetic, very chunky, and doing well. So just thought I'd show them for a second. After they shed, they'll look a lot better, and I look forward to that. Setting them up today, and yeah,
Remind
it's
us again,
fun.
was that one monarch in there, or were there multiple?
Just that one. Yeah, I was hoping to maybe out of the three eggs hit like two or three and get like really lucky, but just the one wasn't a Mojave Monarch either. I would have kind of preferred that because I love Mojave so much, but that's what I got, and I got other eggs with those types of pairings that I'm waiting on. So um slowly but surely, that's how it started. And accomplished that goal, and I feel good about it, even though I only got one. And yeah, yeah,
Is it going to stick
pretty
around,
cool.
or are you planning on selling that?
I first gotta sex it and then figure it out. It's awfully cute and super healthy. It's unlikely to go anywhere, but we'll see. We'll see what else hatches and see how everyone eats and temperament and stuff like that over the time of raising them. And then I'll make some of those choices. Yeah, Aaron's in the audience. What's up, Beast Morphs? He's getting a lot of pairings going and starting to get some eggs and stuff. So he's got a big collection. It's gonna be time to time to start wrangling babies soon, and that's always fun. So
A lot of DG
um,
stuff he's got going.
yeah, a lot of DG stuff. I mean, man, their DGs are so pretty. I looked in there just before the show, right? I'm like, what am I gonna grab? What's going on? Is there any eggs? I'm just racing around, super hot in there. And the DG that I have finally made friendly with the 66% het rainbow. She's a hypo enchi, and she's 66% het cryptic, and he's 50% het cryptic, and they've been like cuddling up the last couple weeks, and he was all over her today. So even though she's of age, she's a little small, but I have a feeling they'll eventually um they've locked up. So eventually she'll be ready, and that could be interesting. Maybe get some cryptic babies. And yeah, he's just DGs are so pretty.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's fun to watch them come into their colors and patterns.
it's been a while since we checked shared morph market auctions. I know this
Mm-hmm.
past there were so many on there that I wanted, and I was like, I want that, I want that, but just
Mm-hmm.
not the right time for me to add that. I even had some saved on my morph market, and that kind of hurts when it's saved and then they put it on auction and you see it going for much lower than the price it was at. But hey, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But we've got some beautiful snakes. We've got 227 currently on sale. Usually at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the month, although it's already well into the month, that's when we have this big influx of snakes being posted. Ooh, this one's a nice sugar head puzzle. Got some stranger stuff. Yeah, there's incredible snakes there. And have you added anything recently or plan to? Or
No, not really. There's one trade pending that I gotta finalize with someone, and there's a snake I paid for in the beginning of last winter that I gotta get shipped to me. But no, I'm just kind of creating snakes more so than acquiring them.
yeah, with all the clutches I got going right now, I need to actually make some room, so I'll probably be letting some VPI Xanthic het puzzle stuff go, and I have this banana calico double het VPI Xanthic genetic stripe that I've been holding on to, but then I have another one that has black pastel topped onto that, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I holding two of these when this other one has black pastel on top of that? So I'll probably be letting that one go.
Hmm.
I definitely need to make room for the new babies that are incoming. Okay, let's get back to our slides here. So we did that. Were you here for the problem of the week, Jason?
I saw a little bit of it, yeah, in the green room.
Yeah, puzzle back. That was one that I heard, but when I looked on Morph Market for it, because I wanted to try to confuse the audience a little bit, because obviously
Hmm.
Sean Bradley did puzzle, but there was a puzzle back which I think was a different line of fire or something. But I
It's
saw.
a it's a super form of the Woma gene, which in itself
Oh, okay.
is confusing to hidden gene Woma. So somebody else named gene Woma, and then when you combine it in its super form, they call it puzzleback. So it really gets like
Mm,
confusing and tricky, and they look a little bit like the what do they call it? Like the Mario gene. They're pretty
okay.
much the same
Yeah.
thing and do similar stuff in super form. So yeah, yeah, confusing. That was a good one to throw in there.
And hey, let's get to our subjects for this week. Is this the
Hmm.
year of the monsoon? There's been some crazy monsoons posted this
Hmm.
past couple of weeks, and I've been wanting to talk about them, but then I haven't been on, and we've talked about different subjects. But
Yeah.
here goes a candy monsoon by, of course, the originator Dave Green Reptiles. Now,
Hmm.
when I see this snake, um, it's not that impressive because usually with monsoon you want to separate the rainy parts of the monsoon with the other parts of it, and you need
Hmm.
genes in there that will help distinguish that. Like Mojave, one of the most simple genes added on to monsoon, really distinguishes the pattern of the monsoon.
Yeah, it does.
And I know with candy, well, candy does stay pretty contrasted, but it'll be interesting to see how this grows. I know things like lavender would tend to bleed, and regular albino would bleed, and I'd imagine it looked like a yellow or orange snake. The stranger monsoon it's not that impressive. It tends to look just like a brown snake unless you look really closely. Then you can start seeing the pattern differences. But any opinions on the candy monsoon here?
I think that it will, unlike other albino-ish versions of it, like banana and different things that people are going to try. Like it has a potential to be a little bit more contrasty than those as far as being like more lavender and purple. And I mean, if you threw in like black pastel, GHI, things that will darken, that would probably help it. Maybe even mahogany, but I think this snake will look a little bit more impressive as it gets older compared to what it looks like it's gonna turn into now. So it's just gonna need quite a bit of time. And monsoons just being dabbled with. So there's so much for us to learn and compare and see. And is Candy it? I don't know. That's a cool snake. Um, I think GHI is going to be really helpful, and all the darkeners are going to be helpful, and something that we don't even really think about that gets combined with it eventually will
Mhm.
be the winner, and we'll be like, oh wow, this was it, and that will come about in the next couple years, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was on the bandwagon that monsoon is something that you should just focus on the monsoon part of it and not try to change the pattern too much because that would be too difficult. But after
Hmm.
seeing some of these snakes, there's a lot more to monsoon than I think that we believe. Let's take a look
Yeah.
at the snake. This one's really cool. So the Special Ultramel Monsoon by Denny Val.
Mm.
Now that one you could really see the separation of the pattern with the the blacks of it. But again, as it grows, will it start to bleed together? But Ultramel's in there. I know Ultramel tends to stay contrasted pretty good. So yeah, I think this snake is really cool. What do you think of
Yeah,
it?
that snake has a lot of potential to look great later on. It's got a cool pattern that I don't think will just wash away. Um, I like those super thin eye stripes.
Yeah,
It's
and
a that's he's got to be happy with that one.
that really thin dorsal stripe on there gives it a nice breaking up of the usual monsoon pattern. So this is a really cool.
Yeah, yeah, that one's a winner. Good job.
I wonder what Monarch would do to it. Do you think
We'll see
Monarch would darken
eventually.
it a little bit or something?
I know somebody who's working on that, mixing
Okay.
Monarch into Monsoon. They've been on that project for a while, so they'll be a little bit more in the forefront and noticed once they start hatching stuff out.
Question for Aaron in the audience: do you have a male monsoon, or is it a het monsoon that you're working with? I know I started the het route, and you are working the het route also, and just a longer time, but eventually we'll all get there, right?
I think he got a male. He got a good price on a male.
Let's take a look at the third one here. This one, it's unknown. He's not quite sure what the genes are in there. And this is the one that has a lot of potential. Now, I don't know whether this is a paradox because we could see on the back half of it, there's less pattern. And then on the middle part of it, there's crazy pattern going on. So this one, if this is not a paradox, this shows a lot of potential that can occur with the monsoon. So that one's really nice.
Yeah, that one's pretty neat. I would have to guess because of how the head looks that that's an actual monsoon that's just paradoxing really heavily with whatever else it was crossed with. I don't know what. Sometimes wild stuff happens, and that's definitely the case with that snake. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's crazy. It kind of reminds me of Pinstripe. I don't know if
Mm,
Pinstripe's in the mix there, but that's just a wild snake. Again, it's got that dorsal, and then in the middle part, it's got the striping going on, the vertical stripes. So crazy snake.
yeah, that's wild. I would have to guess, like if I had to, that that's probably like some sort of combination of something in the yellow belly complex with something else that just made it go like haywire when it created pattern in the egg. Looks like a monsoon though.
Yeah,
We need that test RGI.
it's got the really thin eye stripes, so that's a good case for it being monsoon. Now
Yeah.
this is the same breeder as the last one, so I'm wondering if they. Well, this one's already shed out, so it's possible they could be clutch mates. I don't know, but he's not sure what it is, and he didn't say exactly the pairings, so we can't speculate, I guess.
Yeah, it's a holdback. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I didn't do many slides, and
hmm
that was that's it for the monsoons. So, but I saw those really cool monsoons, and thought I would share it with the audience here. It might be a short show today, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so this one popped up, and this was a little bit controversial. So Troy from Balls and Strikes Pythons, he posted this super pastel desert ghost, and he initially was going to sell it because he thought it was just a het puzzle, but he got tested by RGI, and RGI showed that it was an actual puzzle, the homozygous form of the puzzle. And so there was a lot of controversy on the posts and in puzzle chats that I'm in, and a lot of people saying that that's not a puzzle, and a lot of people coming out of the woodwork kind of putting down RGI, saying, they've got to fix their tests because RGI has had issues, of course, with the Desert Ghost, but I haven't heard anything really with their puzzle tests. But what do you think about that one? Do you think that's a puzzle?
I think puzzle is a puzzling gene. I think sometimes it's pretty dramatic and you're like, wow, look at that snake. It's so cool. It's doing awesome stuff. And you combine it with other genes and you're like, yeah, oh my God, it's so rad. It's the gene of the future here. Gotta get it. Like, and then other times, actual puzzles are just like okay. I mean, you can see its pattern, like on the dorsal, it's doing some puzzly stuff. That's for sure. You can literally just like see puzzle pieces. But the probably what made him think that it wasn't is because the lower part and the sides, like the popcorning and stuff, that it isn't doing anything dramatic. It so sometimes they don't. And sometimes genes in all different kinds of reptiles and animals in general, like have subtle ways of showing themselves where the dominance is very small, but it's still there. And that's why people will tell you, like, when you're doing projects, pick the best example of something and work with that. And that way, you'll have a stronger influence more likely on offspring. So maybe this is a puzzle, but it's just a mild version, like the combination of DG and puzzle and everything in this snake's lineage. The variants just popped out like this. Maybe it is a puzzle. I would lean towards it may not be, and it's just a strong like het influence, and that's probably what he was thinking when he went to go and sell it. But um, that's the kind of situation with him having it tested. You're gonna have to test it again. You're gonna have to test it again, and RGI probably retest some other snakes, and then compare all that data and see if somehow a mistake was made or there's something a little glitchy or to confirm it. And he should not sell that snake right now and figure it out and then go from there.
Yeah, what an extreme powerhouse. Super Pastel Desert Ghost puzzle.
Yeah.
Pastel is goes really well with Desert Ghost. It goes really well with puzzle, and um, I've after staring at it right now, I would say it's puzzle, but there are
Mhm.
people in the industry with far more experience with puzzle than me that say it's not a puzzle. So
I would feel a lot more confident if the lower sides of it were doing some sort of connecting and
mhm.
and more obvious stuff. But it doesn't mean that it's not puzzle. So, like Aaron says, he'd keep it and breed it. Yeah, that's how you prove it out. I would breed a puzzle to that snake and see what happens.
Yeah. Also, the eye stripes seem to be thinner than usual with the puzzle, although it does have a weird pattern to it. I know pastel can influence that eye stripe, so that's
Yeah.
probably what's going on there. And
RGI will get down to the bottom of it. I would lean towards it being just a really strong hit, but it's that's why we have genetic testing and they'll figure it out. It'll take some time though.
and Troy was getting a lot of heat for that,
Hmm.
and he actually posted on his story the shed test results from RGI showing that it's homozygous. And
Yeah.
just to get some confirmation, probably send a shed Charlie's way and have him do that as well. To
Yeah, no reason to get any heat. I mean, he leaned towards it being a het. He was gonna sell it. Like he's not trying to fool anybody. He's just gonna have to hold off on that sale. At least that's the better move and get down to the bottom of it. And I'd probably, if I was him, I'd probably just keep it and take super good care of it and pup it up for breeding as soon as possible. Um, that's what I would do.
and I wanted to share a snake that Randy from Dark Cloud Reptiles just shared on his Instagram, but he has a pinstripe VPI Xanthic hypo puzzle, and
Really?
so he has triple banger. but he
Yeah.
wasn't quite sure of it. He actually bought it off, I think he mentioned the reptile shop, the one in Temecula,
Hmm.
and gave him a really good deal on it. And since Pinstripe was a part of it, it was difficult to see whether it was puzzle or not. And
Hmm.
he got it shed tested and ended up being the triple banger. And I know he, at the Anaheim Reptile Show, he hooked me up with a VPI Xanthic Pinstripe 66% possible double het hypo puzzle. And I was looking at it and I noticed it's got some really thick eye stripes on it. So either there's some strong het puzzle influence going on there or it's actually a puzzle. But
Hmm.
looking at the one that Randy posted, I noticed that the striping along the side was a lot more visible compared to the one that I have. But I'm definitely going to get that shed tested with RGI. And good
Yeah.
chance with 66% that at least it'll be het hypo or het puzzle. I think it'll prove out het puzzle because of those thick eye stripes that it does have. But
Hmm.
super good guy, Randy, and
Yeah. Randy's
everybody
awesome.
has good things to say about him, and including myself. So thank you, Randy, for that hookup, and congratulations on that incredible snake that you have. Okay, you know what? That's it for my slides, man. Is there any?
Well, yeah, so well, I'm sure there'll be more eventful stuff in the week ahead, and we'll catch up with some podcasts and some het flicks and all sorts of, news, and more things will happen to be reported on. It's just a mellow summer week here. We got a lot of stuff going on in our personal lives, and we're just juggling all that with eggs. Yeah, so
Speaking of Netflix, Justin's video today, he showed some adder, and I know
hmm
Brandon from Nixon Reptiles is working with adder,
hmm
and I know it was in the RCR chat. It's been kind of hyped up a little bit, so it's interesting to see Justin working with that. So if you want in on adder, you better get it now because after Justin showed those, they're probably gonna be all gone on Morph Market. So that was a really
yeah,
cool.
examples of that gene had just been floating around Morph Market during the time that I've been back, and I was always interested in it, but sometimes it's underwhelming, and sometimes it's really, really interesting. Um, I think it will gain popularity over time. I like what it sometimes does on the sides of the snakes. It does interesting stuff, kind of like HRA will do, just weird towers, weird alien heads, connecting alien heads, and interesting stuff. And when you put dark stuff with Adder, it's very contrasting. I like it. It doesn't impress everybody, but I think in the future, people will be like, "Where did this come from?" And it will have been ignored and start to be something that is another, a paint on the palette to be able to use for to make cool snakes.
There's so many cool morphs I want to get into, but it's just a space issue. Like
Hmm.
Aaron mentions here, the pixel combos; those are crazy. They look really cool, and
Yeah.
I saw on Morph Market today there was a tri stripe I saved because I've been wanting to get in tri-stripe, but I've been juggling with, do I really want to add another recessive project to everything that I've got going on already? And it was
Hmm.
just like, he dropped the price of it on sale, and it's like making you think, man, should I
Hmm.
grab that or do I really want to add that recessive and add another rack? I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's a tough one, when you expand and you build your collection and you start doing really cool things that you set out to do over time and dedication. You start to take, well, now I want to move on to another project. I want to work with something else. I want to gain experience with this. Maybe I want to get a new reptile species. And like you can spread yourself pretty thin easily if you have as addictive personality as I do. And it's tough because you want to make neat stuff and you want to have different options, but really the more that you focus, surprisingly, the more options you have when trying to create something really, really cool,
Mm.
because you're more focused and you have more. you know, you have more darts to throw at the dartboard. You're going to be more likely to be successful in a certain direction or a couple directions than spreading yourself so thin. You can always go back to tri stripe like later when more has been learned about it, the prices come down a little bit. It's a pretty cool gene. Like a lot of species of reptiles over the years, over the decades, like the first thing that'll pop out a lot of times with different lizards and different snakes is like striping. So, hypomelanism, melanism, albinism, and like just natural banded or striping patterns is what tends to come out with captive breeding. And also like colors. So, leopard geckos came into the country like probably right around the time that we were born. And, they got worked with more and more over the decades, and they were just yellow spotted animals from Pakistan and, and Turkey and that type of area. And you go to a show now and they breed so quick, they have such a quick turnaround and cycle to the generations that now you just it's hard to even find a regular looking leopard gecko. So it just takes time and effort. And yeah, tri-stripe looks great with all its striping. But I don't have room for it, just like you. So I would say hold off and wait until you cut a project out because you've seen it through and you want to try something new. Then I would just keep focusing on the stuff that you got going on. I know Desert Ghost Clown kind of bored you a little bit because of how many people were aboard that train, but it's going to be a really cool um, project. I think it'll be reinvigorated. You'll be more interested in it again once you're further down that path, and you'll be glad that you stayed kind of on it. And cryptic stuff and all your exanthic stuff. Um, I think monsoon stuff. I think that's plenty. Yeah, you're gonna make cooler and cooler things in the next couple years.
Yeah, being those breeders in like year 3, 4, 5, where you start reevaluating your collection and
Mhm.
making some moves, you realize that, oh my God, there's just so much I got right now. And what you just said makes so much sense. And yeah, the DG clown, definitely something hopefully I'll be producing in 2025. I know I've been saying that the past 2 years, but I definitely got some homegrown girls that are going to be ready for that next year.
I think you're gonna be really glad in the long run that you held on to those snakes. And um, DG's an awesome gene, and seeing that through is going to be rewarding, in my opinion.
And it's DG and clown is something I got floating in with all the other recessives, and eventually meld them back together, and your collection starts to make some sense. And that's why I probably should not be adding other things right now. But
Nope, Mark, I don't think so. Not unless you're going to get a whole bunch of racks, take on like a bunch of equipment and breed more rodents and dedicate more time to it. Like in theory, you totally could, but I think once you start hatching out babies, you'll be like, you're going to feel like a low paid babysitter pretty soon. It's like, what? So yeah, you'll be able to get into all that other stuff later on when you make, hopefully monsoons and other stuff over time. You have all the ingredients to make really good meals, so to speak, in the snake world. So just write it out. You're doing really good. And sometimes we got to just be appreciative and grateful for what we have, and see where we can take that and work with what we got, so to speak. You got lots of good stuff.
yeah, this year I plan to move the babies quick. I don't plan to sit
Mhm.
on them and ponder over, should I keep this or should I keep that. I'm just gonna pick the ones I want. Boom. The other ones, since we got more market auctions this year, things should be able to move much faster and
Mhm.
at least recover shipping prices. I want them to go to good homes, and
Yeah,
I think with better genes that I'm working with, I should be able to get some better prices this year.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, what do you have anything planned for the next week? Just back on the work grind and enjoying summer. Are you gonna do anything fun this weekend?
Actually, yeah, it's my girlfriend's daughter's birthday this weekend, and she
Cool.
we're gonna go to Knott's Berry Farm this weekend and just have
Mhm.
some fun there. And yeah, I'll be honest here. It's um, the daughter of my girlfriend. It was my former student. Actually, she's my student again this year, and she
Mhm.
introduced us, and it's just been a really good relationship. And she's a really
How
good.
awesome is that, Mark? She's like, well, Mark is my favorite teacher. Do you want to meet my mom? Do you want to be my dad? That's sweet. And I hope everything keeps going good with that. It's hard to find your special person amidst 8 billion people on this busy planet. And when you do, then you should you know, be grateful for that and see where it goes. It's always awesome adding new family members and friends that are like family to your life and experiencing new things and growing, emotionally and whatnot. It's Knott's Berry Farm is a pretty awesome place. I went there when I was like, I don't know, like 8. And it's fun. They have a lot of stuff there. They have like farms next to it. They have like all these berries and things. Some people get season passes, and it'll probably be a little bit warm there, so you'll want to bring extra water, stay hydrated. But that sounds like an awesome birthday weekend for her and something for you guys to all share and bond over and have a good time together. So that's cool.
Are you ready to share with the audience your situation, or
Um, probably next week. Have
okay?
so much going on right now, but I do look forward to it. We will, we will see next week how things go. I'm sure there'll be more in the news by then, and we'll have some more snakes to share, and I'll have a little bit more perspective on some stuff, and I'll share all of that, and that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm expecting an equally awesome weekend this weekend, and then I'll report back with how elated I am in life right now. I have all sorts of stuff to share with you, so we'll share it with everybody else. You know me, I'm pretty transparent, so it's the best way to be.
Well,
Um,
I got to tell you right now, I can't stick around after this. So no,
yeah.
not relationships after this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in and taking a little pit stop in your day to talk reptiles just a little bit. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up. Really appreciate it. See
See
you
you
later.
guys. Have a good one.